Hey everyone, Jeff Mackerlin here, and today I want to show you some really cool tweaks that you can add into a minor pentatonic scale to make you sound better right away. So let's run through the notes of C minor pentatonic quickly. I'm going to have C, E flat, F, G, B flat, C, E flat, F, G, B flat, C, and E flat. We're going to give those number names. So it's going to be root, flat 3, which is the flat third of the scale, 4, 5, flat 7, root, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, root, and flat 3 again. An essential slight tweak to the pentatonic scale we're going to start off with is tweaking our flatted third of the scale. So the flat third in C minor pentatonic scale is the E flat. So if we're playing a blues, we're often playing over a dominant 7th chord. I'll talk about a minor chord in a second. And this, a dominant 7th chord, C7, has an E natural in it. So if I play this C7 chord and I sit on this E flat note, right? It's not a good note, but what we want to do is to tweak it a little bit. So we're alluding to the natural third of the scale. We're going to bend that note a little bit. And we never really hang on that bend because it sounds a little sickly and off. But if we tweak the note a little bit, bend it a hair, and then resolve it to where we want to go. So we're going to resolve down to the C. So I'm going to take this E flat, I'm going to bend it just a little bit, and then resolve to my C. Now, how quickly I want to do that bend is up to the tempo of the lick, or the feel of the lick, or the tempo of the tune, whatever you want to do. But here's the secret. You need to practice it a lot to get that little tweak just right. So, how about... Now without it, but it's a key element to sounding really good on a blues or a blues rock or anything. You're always going to tweak that flat third a little bit. So we're on a dominant 7th chord, say, like I said, C7. We're always going to bend a little bit. Now I'm going to play that same line, but without tweaking. Tweaking. Big difference, right? Really important sound. And you want to spend a lot of time working on it. Where it can sound bad, I stop the tweak, right? I just go bend and bend it a little bit. The trick is to keep the bend always in motion till you get to your next note, or you stop the pitch. Right, that's cool. I'm just stopping with my pick hand, putting the pick down. As opposed to going, right? Then it sounds sour. So it's really important to get this tweak down. Now I want to make sure I know that E flat in this whole position. So there's my E flat here, flat 3. There. Now I'm going to slide down with my first finger to grab that E flat there, as we commonly do when playing the blues. Right, so once again without it. Watch. Even that little tweak suddenly makes just playing the scale that much cooler sounding. Now we want to figure out where that flat third tweak is all over the fingerboard. So if we go to C minor pentatonic, say down here. Same thing. super important, and I can't stress enough how much time I've spent perfecting that, and I feel like I'm still working on it. And here are some of my favorite players. It's so important. I guess you're getting the point. It's really important. It separates you from someone who sounds amateur to someone who sounds more professional. So the next tweak we have, that's equally as important, is the flat seventh. So the flat seventh in the key of C minor, going to be that B flat note. So let's check out this simple lick. If I don't do the bend, let's hear it. Little tweak. Now, how much I want to tweak that note, meaning how much I want to bend it, is up to me. If I want to make it a little bit more of a dramatic sound, or a little bit of a tweak, like I said, it makes a huge difference from even a vibrato. Very, very common. In fact, it's essential to sound like a good blues and blues rock player, if you ask me. All right, so once again, I am bending the note, and I do not stop the bend until I get to my next pitch. So if I can resolve on that C, bend it, carry through, resolve on that C at the end. I can also just stop the note, but I am always keeping the bend in motion until I stop it, as opposed to, right? That little tweak can sound really bad, but if I do that more subtly, that sounds great, right? You have to use your ears. If I'm a little shy on that bend, I don't tweak it enough, doesn't sound good. So leaning towards that C, but I never quite get to it. My ear is pulling me towards that B flat to the C. I'm pulling from the flat seven to the root of the scale, or the root of the chord. So let's find that B flat down an octave. It's going to be right here. We're going to be on an 8th fret of the 4th string. Tweak it and resolve it to my C. So as I was saying, you really want to spend time getting this down. I'm going to do a really subtle bend, subtle tweak. Now I'm going to get a big tweak. Always keeping the note in motion until I get to my next pitch as usual. So where's the other flat seven? I can go down here onto the 6th fret. So you want to work on all those. Find them in the other positions. I love that lick. Stole it from Jeff Beck many years ago. What am I doing there? Playing that note, release the pitch, and hammer on immediately. Tricky. So I'm in a line. Let's put that together in a simple lick. So now let's put those two tweaks together, the flat 3 and the flat 7. I'm just going to go down a pentatonic scale. Check this out. I'm going to go up. I know I just said it, spend a ton of time on it. I learned this stuff, that's about Jeff Beck, but Eric Clapton, early stuff. Hendrix does this, but for me it was Clapton. It really got me into this, especially with that Blues Breakers era and Cream. And all the great guitar players do it. It's just part of getting the vocabulary. And what's so cool about this is it's conceptually simple, just tweaking those two notes. It does take some time for you to get it together under your fingers and perfect it. It's hard, but you can get it. And the more you work on it, the better you will sound right away. You may say, Jeff, what if I'm playing over a minor chord, like I did in the intro jam here, C minor blues? Well, I just want to make sure I don't tweak that flat third too much, but I still want to tweak it a little bit, and that gives it that bluesy element. So watch. Still works great over that C minor chord. All right? I just don't want to go, which would work great over the C7 chord. So you have to work on it and use your ear. If I'm going to play a C minor chord, which is spelled C or C minor 7, C, E flat, G, B flat, I have that E flat. I can tweak it a little bit. I can't tell you how much to tweak it. It's like 1/8 of a step. It's just a little bit, but that's the magic, and you have to practice that. It's a lot to do with finger strength, how much control you have over your hands, and ear strength, right? You're going to really figure out how that pitch works just perfectly, and it will take some time to get down. If I'm playing over the dominant 7th chord, which has the E natural in it, as opposed to the E flat, I have a little more freedom of how much I can bend that note. So it's a cool little subtle thing that you want to work on, but the dividends in this are so huge, so very huge. Flat 7 works on all of them. Just a quick second here. If you like my video, please hit the like and subscribe button, as it helps me out quite a bit. If you want this backing track and tab for some of these licks, please use the link above or below, and I'll take you over to Jam Guitar Lessons, and you can get all that stuff for free. You can also get a ton of jam tracks for free, and check out all the courses that I have available. Mastering major triads, mastering minor triads, connecting pentatonic scales, foundational blues licks, repeated blues pentatonic licks, and more. Now, our final tweak that we're going to add in here is we're going to tweak the 4th of the scale. So the 4th of the scale, if you look at our notes, is going to be, that's our root, there's our flat 3, there's our 4, which is going to be the F note. So let's take it right here. I'm going to tweak that 4th, which is the F. I'm going to push that note up. I have 2 cool notes I can kind of mess around with. We have our blue note from the blues scale, or I can bend it a little more, alluding from this F to the G, so that's the 4th to the 5th. So I have a lot of cool play with that. So if I'm hearing that C7 chord, so there's a bigger bend, still pulling me up towards that G note, slow bend. If I stop in the middle, sounds terrible, keep it going to where it feels right, or I can stop the pitch once again. I can do that as well. Now the blue note's in the middle, and that would be this G flat note. It's the flat 5. So I can really experiment with that. So here's like a cool line, just going right down. Or they say 2 different things, don't they? Or, so the first one I bent almost that whole step. Second one I did a little bit less of the half step. Now those bends were a little bit more deliberate, right? But if I just tweak it a little bit, just like I did my flat 3, watch. Let's check out that lick. I'm going to tweak my 4th just a little bit, stop it, tweak my flat 3rd, and resolve. Now, interestingly, I can bend this note up. My first finger bend I usually pull down. I might go down, whatever works for you. Check that out. Go down the octave. Same exact lick. So why don't I tweak my root? Well, if we go up here, play our C minor chord. To get it anywhere we want, it's going to go up a whole step or even a minor third to the E flat. Right? It's not a great one to do. And we're talking about the subtle bends, subtle tweaks. That wouldn't be subtle. Those things. Now, okay, why don't I also tweak my 5? Same idea. Listen. Right? It can work. It's a bit weird sounding at times unless you really, really kill it. But the ones we want to get, flat 3, flat 7, and the 4th. Spend a ton of time with this. Just take the jam track I have. Sit there for hours like I've done. Some records I highly recommend. John Mayall and the Blues Breakers featuring Eric Clapton. I learned a lot of this stuff from that record. All Your Love, their version of that. A lot of those tunes Clapton plays so beautifully and so subtly on this. All the Cream stuff. Those were the big ones for me. Jeff Beck, everybody great, but for me, I really learned it from Eric Clapton when I started really digging into him at an early age and learned some of these cool, subtle bends that really changed my playing. I wouldn't say overnight, but very quickly, because I suddenly sounded much better because I was getting the vocabulary of the blues. I was learning how to pronounce the things correctly. Thanks so much for checking this out, and I will see you the next time.